Yes, please. Thank you. Hello and welcome to Truth in Tarot. I see we have 3 people on tonight. Modern Widow, who wants a 3-card pull on where is her business going. So let's get started with that. It's always important I think it's really important, as a matter of fact, to get a heads up on where the energy is going, and that's exactly what these readings are supposed to do. I went ahead and changed the energy in the cards by just mushing them all up. So this is going to be the sacred portion, so bear with me. And I'm sorry, my voice is raspy. I have done a lot of talking today in sessions. I cleanse these cards of all negative energies, casting them to the center so they know. I infuse and imbue these cards with a question from Modern Widow, who wants to know, where is her business going? Now keep in mind, this only goes out about 3 months. Energy is always changing, which you can see every day, as a matter of fact, how the energy just kind of loops around, and what starts out as a good day turns out to be a really crappy day. You know how it goes. Uh-oh. These are slippery cards. Slippery cards. I do like them though because they're small. So if you're a reader and that happens to you, just give them another reshuffle and you'll be good to go. Okay, Modern Widow. Cut 3 times. 3 cards. Where is your business now? No, this will be where it's been in the past, excuse me. Where is your business now? And where will you be 3 months from now? Card number 1, the Page of Cups. Within the last several months, probably to about a year, somewhere around there, I feel as if you are starting on a new project of some sort. The pages are always about new things, new messages, new beginnings in many ways, especially if they're paired with the ace of that particular suit. And this is an emotional project for you. For whatever reason, I don't know what that is, but the Page of Cups is telling you that's where you were, and you had to get over a lot of emotions in order to get through this project. Where you are now is Justice. An interesting card. Justice is all about feeling as if you're being treated unfairly. And this makes me wonder, from where you started with your project to where you are now, if you've been maybe displeased with the way things are going, that it didn't turn out the way you thought it would, that you perhaps didn't have support from your friends, maybe your family, I don't know. But you felt as though justice was against you a little bit, and you kind of want to get that back. There's a little bit of an eye for an eye, tit for tat, that kind of thing. So right now, the past, you had the idea, you went with it. Right now, a little bit on the rocky side. And in the future is the 8 of Wands. Within the next 3 months, Modern Widow, the 8 of Wands indicates things are going to be moving quickly, and very, very quickly at that. And I think this is a very good sign for your business. Be prepared, because a lot of times things move so fast. Within a day or two, the energy is changing, and things can be completely different than they were 3 or 4 days prior. But this is a very good sign for your business. So Page of Cups, new beginning, Justice, things aren't maybe going so great right now in some ways, but in the future, things are going to pick up. And that's only 3 months from now, so that's pretty good. I hope that helped, Modern Widow. Okay, next, Morphing Rabbit Design. Interesting name. And Morphing Rabbit wants to know if they'll be meeting someone this year. So a relationship question. Okay, so I'm feeling as if there's a hesitation of some sort about meeting someone, that you don't really, it's not one of your main priorities. You would like it if it happens, but it's not something that you're going out and trying to find a lifetime partner or anything like that. It feels a little bit more temporary, just maybe spending time, companionship, that kind of thing. I don't know if that's right or not, but that's what I'm feeling, and that's what's coming in immediately. Cleanse these cards of all negative and dark energies, casting them to the center of the so they know. Infuse and imbue these cards for Morphing Rabbit Design, who wants to know if they'll meet someone this year. Don't forget, I'm answering spiritual questions tonight as well. So if you have something about the spiritual realm that you don't really understand or you've been wondering about, just fire it off in the comments. I enjoy teaching, and it's such a wonderful topic to bring into people's lives. Okay, Morphing Rabbit, here we go. Will you meet someone this year? Where you were, where you are now, and where your relationship search is going to be within the next 3 months. The last several months, the King of Wands. You've kind of shut down on your search, maybe your quest to find somebody. It kind of seems like, I feel like it's a lot of work. And this particular king is all about fire and passion and getting things done. If that is in the upright position. In the reversed position, however, he kind of takes a different turn, and he becomes a little bit more incorrigible. Well, not a little bit. He becomes a lot more incorrigible, doesn't want to work on things, doesn't want to be the nice, nurturing guy within the business realm especially. And he's just not very nice when he turns upside down. So that's where you were. It just wasn't going well in the past. You kind of had a jaded, I want to say a jaded approach to things, like, well, I'm not going to find any. You kind of gave it up for a bit. Where you are right now, the Tower. So this is telling me, since this is a relationship question, that you did have a relationship, but it didn't work out and it hit the skids. How long ago? I'm going to say probably between 2 and 3 months ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. The Tower is a card of destruction. And it's not a very pleasant card because it represents a total destruction. And I think the relationship completely fell apart. But the good news about the Tower is when everything falls down, as you can see with this card, everything is kind of not good at the bottom of it. You have to have an upswing. So right now, in the search for someone and looking for a companion, someone to spend time with, you're kind of beginning that upswing. So I think things are going to look a little bit better for you. But I'm going to say you've got to change your attitude. You've got to turn that King of Wands upright and be mentoring, teaching, really supporting whomever it is you're going to be in a relationship with. You can't keep this attitude up. It's kind of snotty. Right, where it's going, the Five of Wands. I'm going to say this is about the type of person you sometimes get in your life, and it seems to be a repeating pattern. It is a repeating pattern because I'm picking up on that, and I'm hearing the question, why does this always happen to me? That goes into a past life a lot of times and comes from past life residues. This Five of Wands is all about conflict in competition, and it's not healthy to have a relationship with somebody when you're in competition with each other. And because I think you're an intellectual person, that happens probably pretty easily to you. I don't feel like you're overly emotional, that you like to have an intellectual conversation with somebody. So the Five of Wands is telling you to be careful on your next choice. Look at your patterns, look for conflicts, and avoid doing the same thing. I hope that helps. Thank you. So Eric Candido, I know you're watching. No? Okay. So, here you go. So if anyone's watching, do you want to ask a question? It can be about the spiritual realm. You can get a 3-card pull. You can find out a lot of stuff. It's really kind of a fun conversation to have. Oh, here we go with Morphing Rabbit Design. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm cautious too at times. I know you are, and I think that's probably a very good thing. You'll find who's right for you. So if you have a question, anybody who's out there, let me know. But in the meantime, let's talk for a second about archetypes. Archetypes are energies that have been with us since the beginning of time. An archetype for me would be a teacher. I'm willing to teach anything I know. I was a voice teacher for decades, which is probably why my vocal cords are a little bit weak right now. And I sang for 8 to 9 hours a day, 5 days a week. It was a grueling job. But was it worth it to teach students how to sing to make their dreams come alive? Of course it was. So I'd like you to think about what kind of archetypes you have that you work with and who work with you on a daily basis. Those are the energies that are always with you. And they're important energies because they create the choices you make. They create the decisions you make. Without archetypes, we really wouldn't have anything. And if you're interested in that kind of thing, you might want to check out Carl Jung. He was the guy who brought the whole archetype thing up decades ago. But it's really an interesting study. So, archetypes, you have 4 that are with you all the time, with everybody on the planet. It's the child, the saboteur, the prostitute, and the victim. And the prostitute is not about sex or anything like that. It's about giving away all the things that you do for other people and not getting anything in return. And a lot of times that can lead to a soul contract of self-sacrifice, which means you give and give and give, and people are not giving and giving and giving to you. So that's where, when you understand that's happening, that's where you have to reassess a little bit. Hey, what am I doing wrong, and how can I change that? How can I put that archetype behind me in the background, since it's there all the time, and bring in a more positive archetype, such as in Tarot, the Magician, who tells you you can do anything you want to do. You have all the tools, you have the intellect, you have the emotions, you have everything you need in your toolbox to be successful. Now, I don't know about you, but that's what I would rather than something that's not going to be positive. So that's a little thing about archetypes. If you have any questions, let me know. Oh, Lindsay Castillo, How are you? So she says, this might come up twice, but when will I move to Utah? I know it's before summer, though. Interesting. I'm picking up on when I go quiet like that and I'm not talking about anything, I'm getting impressions and getting images, so just bear with me for a second. So you know it's before summer. I want to lay the cards, see if we can get a timeline on that. And you're good, I'm glad. I cleanse these cards of all negative energies, casting them to the center of the earth, so that view these cards for Lindsay, who wants to know when will she move to Utah, but she does have a pretty good idea that it's going to be summer. So slippery. When I'm shuffling, I usually wait for my guides to tell me when I'm done. Sometimes it'll be 4 shuffle rounds, and then other times it's 3. Very rarely go over. Okay. Lindsay, let's look for time for. I'll reserve judgment on that for just a second because I'm picking up a delay of some sort, but I want to see the cards first. The moon. I'm not giving these any particular time frame or anything like that. I want to see how the cards go from one to the other to the last one. They're all reversed, Lindsay. And the moon is advising a little bit directionless right now in your life, and if you are planning on move to Utah, it doesn't seem right now that it's 100% a given that it's going to be before the summer. I do feel there's a bit of a delay. I don't feel it's going to be a long delay, but I think it will be a little bit. And the Wheel of Fortune in the middle position is really amplifying the moon reversed card. Wheel of Fortune is reversed, and I think this might be something to do with not necessarily finances. I just think it's a timing issue, and I don't know what that is, but I definitely feel like there's going to be a delay of some sort, and that's going to kind of set you off your game a little bit. Don't let it. Know that there's a reason for it, and if for some reason this move doesn't work out, then count your blessings that you didn't make the move and didn't spend a whole lot of money and time and effort doing that, because it wasn't meant to be. So if there is a bit of a delay, Lindsay, I suggest you play the game of the delay. Do your inner work. Look at it. Why is this all delayed? What's going on? What happened? Have I done something? Is somebody uncertain? Who's bringing in the delay? You'll have to do a little bit of introspective work, and that moon is big time on that. Okay, so the final card there is the 6 of Cups. It feels as though, was there a bit of running away associated with moving to Utah to get away from a particular environment or experience or a person? Because the 6 of Wands, when it's in the upright position, is about exactly that. So we'll see. Oh, okay. So you feel the delay is a person or some people. I agree with you. I think it's a person. And I think it's somebody who's not quite sure of, geez, how do I want to, not quite sure of what you bring to the table. I don't know. Okay, so I might be totally making that up because it's not particularly clear to me, but it's something, a reservation, I think, about you or a particular job or whatever it is that's taking you there. So the Six of Cups, let me get back to that. Okay, so Lindsay, you're telling me it's the environment. I can't find a job here and it doesn't feel like. Oh, so I was saying it was the environment. I understand that. Well, then it's definitely time for you to go. But here's the thing. I don't feel it's Utah. And I think that's what the delay is. I don't think Utah is where you're going to end up. And I think there are other avenues that you need to pursue before committing moving to Utah. Six of Cups, upright, says you're running away. When it's reversed, this is coming up in the future, honey. So this means you've stopped running away, that you're facing what issue it is where you are, the environment doesn't feel like home. Come to grips with that and then set a better plan. I just don't feel like the plan is concrete. And I think that's where the delay is. I hope that helps. Oh, Tressa Matthews. And you want to know, will you start a new job soon? Okay, let me get my head around this one just for a second. When I'm doing readings one right after the other, I like to give myself a few seconds for my little pea brain to clear. Oh, Lindsay, California is your second choice. That came up. You know, I honestly, Lindsay, I think you need more information than a 3-card pull is going to give you, because there is something that just is not sitting right. And I think that you need to dig down deeper. I can help you do that if you want to do that and really get down to the reservations. But right now, I don't know. I don't feel the timing is right. I just don't feel the timing is right. Okay, Tressa, back to you. Will you start a new job soon? Let's see what the cards have to say. I cleanse these cards of all negative and casting them to the center of you so they know. Use and imbue these cards for Tressa Matthews, who wants to know if she will start a job soon. I get the feeling, Tressa, that you've been dealing with some roadblocks lately, because I see one right after the other, and it kind of feels like things aren't working for you. And even though you've been trying, you've been doing everything right, but it just seems like there are not even major roadblocks, just little tiny things like, oh, well, so-and-so is better qualified, or something like that. But I want to be clear. It's nothing you've done. This is uncertainty based on other people. So let's see how this is going to shake out. So Matthew's getting it soon. Tressa, do you have anybody in your life named Carl, or know of anybody named Carl? So will you start a job soon? Again, we're looking for timing issues, and I'm also looking for a little bit of backstory so I can see where you've been. The Eight of Swords. Actually, the Eight of Swords in the reverse position, which this is better than if it's in the upright position. In the upright position, this card is typically illustrated as a woman who has her hands behind her back. She has a blindfold on. There are 8 swords behind her. And it's just like, oh, woe is me. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I can't see a path forward. Well, here's the thing with that, Tressa. The thing to seeing the path forward, A, is take off the blindfold. And B, is look to see, and those swords are behind you. They're not in front of you. And these swords are everywhere, but you are in the middle, and you can go in any direction you want, which is a really exciting thing. So, where the 8 of Swords is known for shackling you and making you feel trapped, recently you've been coming out of that, and I do feel as if there's new energy involved with you looking for a new job. And if there isn't a new energy, you need to look into that. You do need to do a little bit of meditating, ask your guides what you need to do, listen carefully, and the answer will be there. Ooh, another Swords. Ew. Okay, so 3 of Swords. This makes me wonder if you had a job you really liked and you were committed to that job, you were emotionally committed to that job, everything was going well, and then it all just kind of fell to crap for whatever reason. Well, one of the main illustrations with the 3 of Swords and other decks is there's a heart with 3 swords piercing it, and that's an emotional fracture of some sort. So I feel that there was some sort of loss with the whole job thing going on, and kind of, I think, maybe threw you for a little bit of a loop. Maybe you weren't expecting that, and now you're in the process of picking up the pieces, and it's taking a little bit longer than you thought. And I'm still getting that name of Carl, so I'm wondering. Temperance. Oh, balance. This is all about balance, Tressa, and all about being patient. If you tip the scale one way, then it's going to tip, so it's not balanced. So you've got to get into the right frame of mind that you will find the job, be positive about that, and take those negative feelings that are tipping the scale a little bit not a lot right now, but they're not exactly even when I'm picturing those. Temperance is all about balance and all about being able to balance the good with the bad. So if you can, get rid of your negative mindset. When you take a shower next time, envision the water as muddy as it's going down the drain, and that's negative energy that's going off your body. That's the goo that you get every day of your life just by living. So start working on those things from a spiritual standpoint. Ask your guides what you need to do, and you will turn around and you'll find that everything will start going for you instead of against you. I hope that helps. everybody who's watching. It seems like in my readings and my sessions with clients lately, I've been dealing a lot with this, and I'm not exactly sure why, but it's really been prevalent lately. And that tells me there needs to be a shift in energy, shift away from lack and what you don't have to what you do have, and look forward to that. Make the most of that. Because when you start leading your life by what you don't have, it ain't going right. I can tell you that. It's not going to happen. So try to make a little bit of an attitude adjustment when you feel you're bumping up against a roadblock. And as I said before, big roadblocks are always about soul contracts. So if you feel you have a big one, get in touch with me and I can maybe point you in the right direction. Thank you. Sign off now.